Hello to boys out there, it's a brand new week, so you guys know what that means. A brand new week with lots of new adventures to be had, and I'm going to be taking you guys along on my adventures that I get to this week. It's Monday, a fresh new start, and I had work doing 12 till 2. I was just helping out with the lunch rush, which meant that I got to have a little bit of a lie-in. I then got up, showered and changed, and had some lemon curd toast and a cup of tea for my breakfast. Listened to a bit of music and watched a bit of TV. I was playing with Bear out in the garden, and it was another lovely sunny day with beautiful blue skies. I was then just reading some more off the ice, and I had a cup of tea and some of my custard cream biscuits. Tidied up my office and dolls and dollhouse a little bit. Listened to a bit of music, and was just working on some illustrations and kind of some days in. And then I sorted out my Bleacher doll out into a new look, and I'll show you guys that. Here's my Bleacher doll's newest look. Starting off with the shoes, she's got these green high heels on with lots of pretty details on, lots of laces on the shoes. Then she's got this romper which is green with lots of daisies and leaves all over it, so pretty. Then she has this green choker necklace and her black hat, and this is the whole look. I love that new look, very summery. I'm definitely going to be taking that look with my Bleacher doll on holiday. I always take my Bleacher doll on holiday and always take a few outfits so I can get some snaps of her whilst on holiday. I then was just working a little bit more of my short story and got myself ready for work and got dropped out to work. I then got into work, got clocked in and put my bag away, and it was busy from the get-go, and quickly got my drink out and had some of that, and then was running lots of food and drinks. It's been quite busy, and I did say that I would come in earlier if needed, but it didn't actually get busy until I got there. So I was then cleaning lots of tables outside. We had lots of people outside enjoying the sunshine and blue skies, having lots of cocktails and milkshakes and smoothies, and we had all the deck chairs out and all the umbrellas up, so it was quite busy outside as well as inside, and lots of tables need to be cleaned, so I was making my way through all the tables, cleaning those and wiping them down, and so on to some of the burglars. I just won lots of food and drinks and did some food and drink orders and drinks making, and it was me and two other colleagues on shift, and we absolutely smashed it. It then quieted down, so I was just doing a massive clean-up, putting those clean glasses away and polishing cutlery and putting clean plates and cups away, and then it got quite busy again, and we had a few bookings in, and then it calmed down again. I was then finished. I ended up finishing at 3ish instead, and I clocked out, got changed to the t-shirt that I had in my bag, and whilst getting changed I got 2 mirror selfies, and I'll show you guys. Pink to make the boys wink, as they say. I then made way off, and I'm not in work until Wednesday evening now, and I was listening to music on my headphones and went off to have a look inside the charity shops. If you know, it's about Holiday Monday, so the charity shops are still open, so I was having a look in there, and then popped to one of the cafes in the high street and got myself a cookie dough milkshake. The cookie dough milkshake I had from that cafe was so delicious. Sat and had that in there, and it was huge, and even had some cookies on, which was so cute. I then chilled in there for a little bit, and they've got aircon in there, which felt so good as it's so hot at the moment. And then before leaving, I got some mirror selfies from there, and I'm sure you guys. They've got such beautiful mirrors in that cafe. Always get such lovely selfies from there, and I love the prints and chandeliers. And then I made my way back, and whilst on my way back I was listening to music on my headphones, enjoying the lovely sunshine, had my hat on as I didn't want to be burning my head. It's my first summer being bald, and I really didn't want my head looking like a tomato. I then got some flower starts on my walk back, and I'll show you guys those. I had a lovely stroll back and was able to get some really pretty flower snaps with such lovely colours. I love all the roses that are out and about at the moment with all the beautiful colours. I then went off and got my cash out for the week ahead from the cash point at Cut Food, and got myself a drink for the walk back. And on my way back I was listening to music on my headphones, had my hat on as I didn't want to be burning my head. It's the first summer with me being bald, and I really didn't want my head looking like a tomato. I then saw and chatted to one of my mates who I went to school with, and was having a lovely catch up with them. And then I got back, and my older sister was over before going off to visit our family friend up in London with her mate, so I was chatting with her for a bit. They then headed off, and I listened to a bit of music and was working on some more illustrations and kind of some of those in, and watched Letters to Juliet, one of my favourite movies with Amanda Seyfried in. It's such a great film. And then for my tea I had some bacon rolls, and I'll show you guys those. The The bacon rolls that I had for tea was so delicious. I was then watching a little bit of The Chase and went some more of Off the Ice, and then had a cup of tea and some more of my custard cream biscuits, which are my favourite biscuit at the moment. They're so good. And I'm now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today, put that away, and then I'm going to be watching today's Home Away and UK soaps, and just see you with more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Tuesday and I got up after a bit of a lie-in. I then had a jam and butter croissant with a cup of tea, watched a bit of TV, listened to a bit of music, and was just chilling by the fan. It's so unbelievably hot. Us Brits do not do well with heat. I personally am always hot all year round. I'm always melting, so I should be used to it, but still the heat always gets to me. I then put the fan near Bear. Bless him, he is not doing well with the heat. This massive dog, lots of fur, so he was panting like mad. So I put the fan next to him to help cool him down a little bit, which was working, and he was just resting up. He is found out very soon that when it's hot like this, it's not good to be going outside, and he kept trying to play at first. So I was like, no, come on, it's too hot for this, just lie down. So now he's just been lying around the place, just trying to cool down as much as he can, and just been spread out on the sofa, mainly sleeping, bless him. And then I got myself ready to go off for a walk, and it cooled down a little bit. Put some sun cream on and my hat on, don't want to be burning my head, and I just love the smell of sun cream. It reminds me of being on holiday or being at the beach. It's just one of those smells that I just love. I then head off and was listening to some music on my headphones, having a lovely stroll, and on my way up to go to the high street, I got some flower snaps and show you guys those. I was having such a lovely walk. I was able to get some really pretty flower snaps with lovely colours, and bumped into one of my mates, so I was having a nice catch up with them. I then went off to get some lunch from one of the cafes, and I got some nachos. The nachos they do in there are so delicious, and a cola from there as well, and they had aircon. It was lovely in there, nice and cool. I then got some mayo sauce from there, and I'm sure you guys those. We've always got really pretty mirrors in there, and I love the funky wallpaper. I then went off and had a look around some of the charge shops. I went off to the flower shop and I got some flower sets from there, and I'll show you guys those. We've got such beautiful bouquets of flowers in that flower shop. Lots of sunflowers and roses, some of my favourite flowers to get snaps of. I then was having a lovely chat with the flower shop keepers in there. I got some plant snaps. There's a load of new succulents in, so I was having a lovely look around at all the new succulents and cactuses and the pretty plant pots and pretty patterned leaves. And then I got 2 mirror selfies from there that I'll show you guys. Those mirror selfies I got from there are so cute, all the plants around the mirrors. I then went off to one of my favourite little craft shops at the top of the high street, where they sell socks, notebooks, stationery, pillows, blankets, lots of really cool bits like that, and they also have really pretty displays, and I'll show you guys snaps I got from there. It's always so cozy in there, and I had a lovely chat with the shopkeepers in there. And then I went off and had a look at some more of the chart shops, went into Aldi and had a look at the Best Buy section and to the book shop, and I love the smell of old books so much. And then I saw 2 of the people I go to morning group with on Friday mornings in one of the cafes, so I went in and had a nice chat with them. And on the way out from there, I got a mirror side from there that I'll show you guys. That mirror is so pretty. They also have really cute mirrors and prints in that cafe. I then made my way back, and whilst on my way back I was listening to music on my headphones, and it cooled down a little bit. There's a bit more of a breeze now, thankfully, and I got some more flower starts. I'm going to show you guys. I just love flower photography so much. I find it so therapeutic. I then got back and I was having some bear cuddles and got a snap of him on the sofa, and show you guys that. He's so adorable with his big brown eyes. I then watched a bit of Escape to Country, Garden Rescue and Father Brown, and then listened to a bit of music and watched some vlogs and TikToks funny dog and cat videos and sea lion videos. I'm loving sea lions at the moment, they're just so cute. And then I started reading this book called The Last Romeo, which is a BL drama. Love my BL dramas, and it's a bit of a slow burner, but I'm slowly getting into that. And then I was just working on a little bit of my short story that I've been working on and some new illustrations. Colour some of those in, and I'm now off to go and just chill before going off to my workplace this evening for some food with Jen. We're going to be having a barbecue at Jen's, but the people who normally go to games tonight, we've had to move on Tuesday nights because it was on Thursday nights, but we now have touch up on Thursday nights. Can't all make it, so it's just going to be me and Jen, and Tash has to work, so we're going to be going to our workplace so we can just annoy Tash while she works, and might take up a few games for me and Jen to play. I think Jazz might be able to make it there as well, but it might just be me and Jen, and I shall see you with a bit more of the vlog when I'm back from that later on. Later on in the evening now, and I'm back from being at games night. We didn't have it at Jen's like we normally do. We ended up having it at our workplace instead. We're going to have a barbecue, but it was just too hot, so we ended up meeting up at our workplace to have food there instead. And I got ready to go off there, and then my dad brought me up, and I was the first one there, so I got a table and got a cola, and we sat by a window so there was a nice breeze, as it's just been so hot. And Tash was on shift, so I was having a nice chat with her. And then Jenny arrived and she brought some games along, and we played a game of The Chase that we had in our workplace in our little game section, which was really fun. And then Jen had brought Muffin Time and Exploding Kittens, so we played a game of Exploding Kittens when Jazz had arrived, and we'd ordered our tea, and I'd ordered the pork belly off the specials, and it looked so good, so I was really looking forward to having that, and also a bit of sticky toffee pudding. And then our food arrived, and I had the pork belly and sticky toffee pudding, and I'm sure you guys, the pork belly and the sticky toffee pudding that I had for my tea was so delicious. I was absolutely stuffed after that. And then Jen had to head off, so it's just me and Jazz playing some more games, and we played some games of Muffin Time, such a great game, and then played some games of Monopoly Deal. And then it was the end of the evening, and I thanked her for a lovely evening and headed back. And whilst on my way back, I was listening to music on my headphones, enjoying the lovely breeze as it cooled down a little bit. And then I got this pretty snap of a peach coloured rose and a white coloured rose, and I'll show you guys that snap I got on my way back. Such a beautiful snap of those roses, such lovely colours and patterns. I love roses, they're such beautiful flowers. I then got back and I just chilled by the fan and was reading a little bit more of this new book I've just started reading called The Last Romeo, which I'm slowly getting into. It's a little bit of a slow burner, but I'm enjoying that. I had a cup of tea and some custard cream biscuits, and I'm now off to go and finish out my journal entry for today, put it that way, and then watch today's homework and UK soaps. I shall see you for more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Wednesday, and I got up early, ready to go off to the garden centre, my happy place, and got showered and changed, and had some cherry jam toast with a cup of tea, watched a bit of TV, listened to a bit of music, and was having some bear cuddles. And then I headed off to get the bus to Armstrong Garden Centre, and whilst on my way there, I was listening to music on my headphones. I put some sun cream on and got my bag and my hat, as I didn't want to be burning my head, and put some sun cream on my head and on my cheeks. And then I got to the bus stop, and the bus didn't take too long to arrive, thankfully, and all the windows were open on the bus, so there's a nice airflow, so it wasn't too stuffy in the bus. And I just listened to music on my headphones. I then got to the garden centre and headed in, and I got some snacks from the home section when I got there, and I'll show you guys those. You've got such cute home displays in that garden centre with lots of cute bits of pottery and blankets and vases and bits like that, so it's having a lovely look on there, all the little figurines they have in there as well. And then I went off to the plant section, and I got some plants that's from there that I'll show you guys. That plant section is huge. I was having a lovely look around there at all the succulents and cactuses and pretty patterned leaves and plant pots. They always have such beautiful plant displays in that garden centre. I then got chatting to one of my mates who works at the garden centre, and then I head off to where all the flowers are in the outside area of the garden centre. That garden centre is huge. I was having a massive walk around there, and I got some flower snacks on the sugar days. I was able to get lots of beautiful flower snacks, lots of lovely colours, lots of roses and dahlias, and then I got 2 mirror selfies, one from this mirror with some flowers around it, and another one from this mirror with shutters and they open outwards, and sugar stays. They're such cute mirrors. I then got some more flower snaps on the sugar stays. I just love flower and plant photography so much. I find it so therapeutic. I then had a look at the stationery and at the plushies and at some socks and bits like that, and then I made my way off to get the bus back, and I went to go off to the square, this cafe in Alveston that I always love to go to, but got there and it isn't open on Wednesdays, so I ended up going off to the pub instead and got a drink from there, and I got some mirror selfies from there that I'll show you guys. I love the mirrors they have up in that pub. They have such beautiful mirrors. I then made my way back into town, heading back down the hill and listened to music on my headphones. It's easier walking down than it is up it, I'll tell you that for sure. And I then went off and had a look at some of the charge shops, went off to the butcher shop and to Aldi, and then got myself a caramel frappe from Coffee One, and I'll show you guys that. The caramel frappes they do in there are so delicious. I then headed home, and whilst on my way back I was listening to music on my headphones and enjoyed the sunshine and blue skies, and it's cooled down a lot, which is good, and there's a little bit more of a breeze. I then got home and I was just working on a little bit more of my short story and reading some more of the new book that I've just started, and had a cup of tea and some of my custard cream biscuits, and then I watched Nana McPhee, which is probably one of my favourite movies of all time. It's such a good film, and I'm now off to go and finish off more of my short story, and we'll just be chilling for work this evening and just see a bit more of the vlog when I'm back from that. It's late on into evening now, and I'm back from being at work, so I got myself ready for work, and then my dad dropped me to work, and we're going in my old sister's old car, and it obviously did not like the heat, so it was playing up a little bit, so we had to put that back on the drive. My dad's going to have a look at that in the morning, so we ended up going in the big car instead. I then got to work, I got clocked in and put my bag away and got my drink out that I got to have at work. I had some of that. Hydration is key, and it's just so hot at the moment. We had all the windows and doors open, and we had a fan on the back of the bar, which is great. So every time I walked past, I'd always literally just go like this and just lean over to get a little bit of fresh air. And then I was just getting on with a load of cleaning and post jobs, buying lots of food and drinks, and doing lots of food and drink orders and drinks making, buying lots of wines and doing lots of pint pouring, and so on, chatting to some of the burglars. I met quite a lot of people sat outside enjoying the sunshine, and had quite a few big groups of people in for lots of food and drinks, so it kept us quite busy. It's quite busy for a Wednesday. Normally Wednesdays are quite quiet in the evening, but me and Tash absolutely smashed it. Always had such a good shift with Tash. And then we finished at about 10:40ish, clocked out, and I got my bag and got picked up by my dad. And before heading off, I thanked Tash for a great shift, wished her and Jazz a lovely car away. They're going off to London to go to see a musical which they love, and I then got back, got into my PJs, and then for my tea I had a chicken Caesar salad. I'm sure you guys that. The chicken Caesar salad I had for my tea was so delicious. I love Caesar salad dressing. It's probably one of my favourite types of salad dressing to have. And then me, my mum and dad watching a little bit of Bullseye, and then I finished watching my journal entry for today, put that away, and I'm now off to go and watch today's Home Away and UK soaps, and just see more to vlog tomorrow. It's now Thursday, but before I talk to you guys about what I got up to on my Thursday, I'm going to show you guys a clip of the thunder and lightning that we had last night. It was insane. I was pretty loud, but I managed to have quite a good night's sleep. And it was raining. I had the window open, and I love falling asleep to the sound of rain and that musty, earthy smell that the rain leaves after it stopped raining. I just love it. It's one of my favourite smells. I then got up after a lie-in, and I had a croissant with some jam and butter with a cup of tea, and I had some bear cuddles, and was just listening to a bit of music, watching some vlogs and TikToks and funny dog and cat videos, reading some more of The Last Romeo, and tidied up my office and dolls and dollhouse. And then I got myself ready to go off for a walk, and it was overcast, my favourite type of weather, when it's not too hot, not too cold, just that perfect mixture of the both. And I listened to music on my headphones and headed off on my walk and made my way up to the high street. I went off and had a look outside the child shops, went off to the boot shop and into Aldi and bumped into one of my mates, so I was having a nice catch with them. And then headed off to Tesco's to get some bits from there and got some flower sets from the bouquet section, and I'll show you guys those. They've always got such beautiful bouquets in that flower section at Tesco's. I then went off and had a look around some more of the shops in the high street. I went off to one of the craft shops and went off to Widderford and got these cream fingers, and the shop has still looked the same since I was a little kid, and it's such a classic shop. It's got all the classic like sweets in jars and stuff with scales, and there's a proper little vintage like sweet shop, craft shop, anything you can think of is in there. And it's the shop that they based on open hours on, which is so cool. I then got back, and for my lunch I had some tuna sandwiches with a cup of tea, and had my cream finger with a cup of tea, and I'll show you guys that. The cream finger was so delicious. They do such good cream fingers in there. My grandma then got brought over after getting her nails done by my mum, and I was then just reading a little bit more of The Last Romeo and tidied up my office and dolls and dollhouse a little bit, and got my touch rugby uniform ready for touch rugby tonight, and my drink ready in the fridge so it's nice and cold for touch rugby this evening. And then I popped to the shops to get some bits from there, and whilst on my way back I got some flower sets, and I'll show you guys those. I lovely stroll back and was able to get some really pretty flower sets. There's lots of lovely roses out and about at the moment with such beautiful colours, and there's a little bit of a breeze, so it's a lot cooler now. I then got back and I was just working on a little bit more of my short story that I've been working on, and just listened to a bit of music. And I'm now off to go and watch Collie's Tension Tour, which is now on Netflix, and just chill before going off to touch rugby this evening, and just see you with a bit more of a vlog when I'm back from that. It's late on in the evening now, and I'm back from being at touch rugby, so I got myself ready for touch rugby, and my older brother picked me up. We then head down to the pitch to set up, and then everyone started to arrive. We had a good turnout and we had a really good game. I was doing some really good passing and catching and running. I did manage to fall over whilst running backwards to get back 5, and I then jumped back up and carried on. It was bound to happen eventually. Quite a few people did fall over this evening, and luckily the weather wasn't too bad this week. It was a lot cooler, there's a bit of a breeze, and yeah, we had a lot of fun. Had some great music playing, so whilst I was subbed, I was having a good old dance, and Isla and Jenny and Jacob came along, and Jacob was getting so good, and Isla did me this little card, and it says on the front, thank you, and has a little rugby ball, and it says inside it, it says, to Dan, thank you for looking after Jacob at rugby, as he was the only kid there, with some drawings, bless her. There were a lot more kids there this week, and they were really quick, and we were just all having such a good time. Always such a good time at touch rugby, and always so much fun, and the time goes so quickly. We then packed everything away, and I got back and I got showered and changed and got into my PJs, and for my tea I had fish and chips, and I'll show you guys that. Chips I had for my tea was so delicious, and I'm now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today, put that away, and then I'm going to watching today's Home Away and UK soaps, and just see you with more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Friday and it's the end of the week, almost the weekend, and I got up early ready to go off to morning group and had some breakfast. I had some lemon curd toast with a cup of tea, watched a bit of TV, listened to a bit of music and had some bear cuddles. I was playing with Bear with his favourite rope toy, which he absolutely loves. And then my dad dropped me off to morning group. I got into morning group and it was me and 3 other of the morning group members. One of the members of the morning group had to go to the dentist, so they messaged to say they weren't going to be there and would be back next week. And we were doing some fruit kebabs, so we cut up all the bits of fruit and stuck them on the skewers. I had everything apart from the pineapple. I am not a big fan of pineapple at all. And then we had a little break and had some cups of tea and coffee and some biscuits, and we had some custard creams, and you guys know how much I love my custard creams. I then got a selfie from in front of these pink roses outside in the garden, and they're so beautiful. The gardens are so beautifully kept, so many lovely flowers in that garden. And then we tidied away, added some colouring in pages, and I worked on a new drawing, and I'm going to show you guys a clip of that. Here's one of my new illustrations I did whilst at morning group. She's got fiery red hair with this black dip dye at the bottom of her hair. She's got a choker necklace on, and she's got this frilly the top of her dress, and then she's got some red lips, some lashes and winged eyeliner, and I love the fiery red hair. Those colouring pens that one of the morning group's members' mums got for us to use at morning group are so good, and I'm going to ask for some days for my birthday, which is coming up in a few weeks' time. Cannot believe I'm going to be 29. Oh my gosh, nearing the end of my 20s, and I have no idea what to ask for, so those colouring pens is probably a good start. And then just before the end of the session, I popped to the loo and ended up getting 2 mirror selfies from there. I'm sure you guys. That mirror is so cute and it's beach themed. And then I got picked up by my mum, and then she dropped me off to Dobby's, and I'd taken my bag with me with my keys and my headphones and my hat in, and I almost forgot it when picking up the skewers that we had wrapped up and my drawings that I'd done. So literally had to quickly run back and grab my bag, and then I got dropped up to the garden centre, my happy place, and I'm glad that I brought my hat with me in my bag because it was overcast to start with, and then the sun came out. You don't need to be burning the old noggin. And then I got into the garden centre and got some flower snaps from there to show you guys. The sunflowers and roses and dahlias are so beautiful. Some of my favourite flowers to get snaps of, with all the beautiful colours and patterns on these flowers. I just love all the flowers up there, and it just smells so good with all the flowers, and the sunflowers were ginormous. I then head off and got some snaps from the home section, and I'll show you guys those. That home section is so beautiful with all the pillows and tote bags and the pretty vases, and these vases with the vegetables on are so cute. I then got some sweets and some pink lemonade from the food and sweet section, and I'll show you guys a clip of those. I got these bits from the garden centre. I got some jelly beans and some flying saucers from the sweet section, and got this rose lemonade. I love jelly beans and haven't had flying saucers in ages, so I thought I'd get some of those. And the rose lemonade is so delicious. It's probably one of my favourite drinks to have at the moment. I then got 2 mirror selfies, and I'll show you guys those. These mirrors are so beautiful. I then went off and had a look at some of the stationery and at some of the plushies, and was tempted to get a notebook, but I don't need any more stationery at the moment. And they had some socks there as well, and you guys know how much I love my socks, so I was having a look at the socks section and was chatting with one of my mates who works there. I then head off to the plant section, and they had a load of new plants in, so I got some snaps from there that I'll show you guys. I was able to get some really beautiful plant snaps, lots of beautiful succulents and cactuses and pretty patterned leaves and plant pots, and they'd added a load of new parts to the plant section, so I was having a lovely walk around there. I then went off to the cafe and had a pot of tea and a custard slice, and I'll show you guys. The pot of tea and the custard slice I had from the cafe was so delicious. I sat outside in the outside area of the cafe enjoying the sunshine, and there was a little bit of a breeze, which was perfect. And I only had to pay for my cake in the end, as I had points on my Dobby's card, which meant I got the drink for free, which was great. I then chilled for a little bit, and then I headed off to have a look around some more of the garden centre. I got some more flower starts just before leaving, and I'm going to show you guys those. They're just so beautiful. There's so many plants and flowers to get snaps of. I could be in there all day if I could. I then headed back and ended up walking down to Tytherington, this little village, and it always reminds me of Emmerdale when going there. And I headed down the hill into Tytherington, and it's a bit of a killer of a hill, and I was listening to music on my headphones, had my hat on, and was staying in the shade when possible, as it got quite warm. And I then got into Tytherington, and I got some snaps of some of the cute little cottages and the church, and it's just so beautiful there. And I'll show you guys those snaps I got. A lovely stroll around the village, and then head off to the pub and sat on the sofa area. It's so cozy in there, and had some mini cheddars and an orange and passion J2O. The J2O was so delicious, had some ice in my drink, definitely needed it as it's so hot out there. I didn't end up having the mini cheddars there, I put them in the bag that I got from Dobby's that had my drink and the sweets in, and then I got 2 mirror selfies from that. I'll show you guys. We've got such cute mirrors in that place. I then headed back, and whilst on my way back, I called up Tash and Jazz. I was having a chat with them. They've been away in London. They watched Mamma Mia, the musical, last night, and they're going to watch another musical called The Musical That's Not a Musical or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it was one of Tash and Jazz's favourites, and I hope they have a lovely time watching that. Lots of musicals on their trip to London, and I'm glad they're having a fabulous time. I then made way back up the hill and was listening to music on my headphones, and made my way back into town and got some more flower snaps, and I'll show you guys those. I went down this one street where they have so many roses, and it's just so beautiful. I was able to get so many lovely rose snaps. I then went off to One Stop and got myself some lunch and a drink for the rest of the walk back, as I was absolutely melting, and got a drink to have for work this evening. I'm doing 6 till close. I then got back and I had my lunch. I had some chicken Caesar wraps and had my drink that I got for the walk back, and then had my mini cheddars I got from the pub while in Tytherington, and had that with some soft cheese. You put the cheddar biscuits into the soft cheese, and it's so good. Mwah. I then was just listening to a bit of music, working on some more illustrations, hung some videos in, and was reading a bit more of The Last Romeo. It's a little bit of a slow burner, but I'm slowly getting into that, and had a cup of tea and some of my custard cream biscuits. I'm going to need to get a few more because my biscuit tin is running low. Just love custard cream so much, and I've got my uniform ready for work this evening, and I'm now just going to be chilling before going off to work this evening, and to see you for more of the vlog when I'm back from that. It's daytime in the evening now, and I'm back from being at work. I worked doing 6 till close, so I got myself ready for work. I then got dropped into work. I got into work, got clocked in and put my bag away. I got my drink out that I got to have for work. I had some of that, and it was me and 2 other colleagues on shift, and I was running lots of food and drinks, doing food and drink orders and drinks making, and doing lots of wine pouring and pint pouring, and so on, to some of the workers. I was cleaning tables inside as well as outside, and making quite a lot of people sat outside enjoying the sunshine and blue skies. Lots of people having cocktails and smoothies and milkshakes. So I was doing lots of drinks making, and then I got on with a load of cleaning and clothes jobs that I could get done. And then one of my colleagues I was on shift with finished at like 7ish as it had quieted down. So it was then just me and one other colleague on shift, and I was just getting loads of cleaning and clothes jobs done, polishing cutlery and putting clean plates and cups and glasses away. And we finished at about 11:30ish, and clocked out, got my bag, I got picked up by my dad, and then went off to Tesco's to get myself some tea. And then I got back and got into my PJs, and for my tea I had a chicken Caesar pasta pot and a custard slice. I'm sure you guys, the chicken Caesar salad and the custard slice I had for my tea was so delicious. I was then watching a little bit of QI with my mum, and then finished my journal entry for today, put that away, and I'm now off to go and watch today's Home and Away and UK soaps, and just see more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Saturday, and I hope you guys are all having a lovely start to your weekend. I got up after a little bit of a lie-in. I don't have fight until this evening. I'm doing a 5 till 10. I was supposed to be doing 5 till close, but we and one of my colleagues have swapped end times, so I'm now finishing at 10 and they're finishing at close. I then had some breakfast. I had some lemon curd toast, a cup of tea, and watched a bit of TV, just a bit of music, and just worked on some illustrations. Had some days and was working on a bit of my short story that I've been working on. Tidied up my office at Dolls and Dollhouse and watched some vlogs and TikToks with funny dog and cat videos and some sea lion videos. And then I was playing with Bear out in the garden with his rope toy, which he loves. And it was another lovely sunny day with beautiful blue skies, and I'm making the most of it before the rain comes in. But I'm looking forward to it being a little bit cooler. It's just been too hot at the moment. And next Saturday it's my town's first ever Pride event, so I'm hoping that it stays dry. I've looked at the weather and it's supposed to be getting sunnier again towards the end of the week, so fingers crossed it stays dry for Pride, and I'm so excited for that. And then I got myself ready to go off for a walk, put some sun cream on and my hat on, and got my bag and my headphones on and headed off on my walk. And whilst on my walk I was listening to music on my headphones and got some flower snacks, and I'll see you guys those. I was able to get some really beautiful flower snacks whilst on my walk. The ranunculus and roses are so beautiful. I was having a lovely stroll, enjoying the sunshine and blue skies, and there's a little bit of a breeze today, which is quite nice, making it a little bit cooler. I then headed up to the high street. I went off and had a look at some of the child shops, went off to the book shop. I love to swallow off old books so much. I popped into Aldi and had a look at the Best Buy section, and then bumped into my grandma who was up the high street, and I had a lovely chat with her. She then headed home. I then went off to one of the cafes in the high street. I got a peach iced tea and this berry and nut yogurt. I'm going to show you guys that. The peach iced tea and the yogurt I had from there was so delicious. I love that berry yogurt. I always get that whenever I go there. I then saw and chatted to a girl and her parents who I went to school with, and she was in special educational needs, SEN, in secondary school with me, and she's so lovely, and she lit up when she saw me, and it was just so cute. It was lovely chatting with them and seeing how they're getting on. I then went off and had a look around some of the child shops, and I got a new BL book which is called Here's to Us, and it is the sequel to Whatever It's Us, which I also have, so I'm looking forward to starting this. I have a massive pile of BL books to get through. I just love them. And then I went off to one of the pubs and got a drink and saw and chatted to one of my mates, and on the way out I got a mirror selfie from there to show you guys. That golden mirror is so beautiful. I always love getting mirror selfies from that mirror with all the pretty leaves and lights around it. I then headed off, and on my way back I was listening to music on my headphones, enjoying the lovely sunshine and blue skies. I then got home, and for my lunch I had a pot noodle. I haven't had a pot noodle in so long, and it was so delicious. I then had a cup of tea and some of my custard cream biscuits, and was reading a little bit more of The Last Romeo. Wrote a little bit of my journal entry for today, and was working on some illustrations and coloring some of those in. I then tidied up my office and Dolls and Dollhouse, and then I was just watching some vlogs and TikToks and funny dog and cat videos and listening to a bit of music. I then played with Bear out in the garden with his rope toy, and then my dad got back from being over in Chester to collect the pottery bits that we did a few weeks ago for my mum's belated birthday present, and I'm going to show you guys a clip of the cowboy boot that I did whilst at the pottery place over in Chepstow. The bits that we did at the pottery place over in Chepstow got finished, and we were able to pick them up, and my boot turned out beautifully. I was a little bit nervous when doing it. I didn't think I was going to be very good at it, but it turns out it looks great. I love the blue and with the white bits on. It kind of looks like the sky, and the bottom has got such lovely like markings. It looks like they're worn away, and then on the bottom of the shoe it says Dan. I'm definitely going to be putting some flowers in there and put that on my desk. It's going to look so cute with some dahlias and roses and sunflowers that I'm planning to get from one of the flower shops or maybe the garden centre. And I'm now off to go and start reading this Heated Wifey magazine that I got early on, and it looks so good. Love all things Heated Wifey, and I can't wait for season 2 to be out soon. And I'm just going to be chilling and have a cup of tea and some more custard cream biscuits, and just see you with a bit more vlog when I'm back from work this evening. It's later on in the evening now, and I'm back from being at work. I'd work doing 5 till 10. I was supposed to be doing a 5 till close, but me and my colleague who I was on shift with swapped finish times, so he was finishing at close and I was finishing at 10, as I was back in the next day, and he got to finish early last night. And I got myself ready for work and ended up having to walk to work as my dad had to drop my older sister off into town. So I headed up and was listening to music on my headphones on my walk up to work. I then got into work, I got clocked in and put my bag away. I got my drink out that I got to have for work. I had some of that, and it was just me and one other colleague on shift to start with. So she's getting on with some of the cleaning and clothes jobs they could get done, and cleaning tables outside, and we had quite a lot of people sat outside enjoying the sunshine with lots of cocktails and apple spritz. I made their deck chairs out and umbrellas up, and everybody was having a great time enjoying the sunshine. The last bit of sunshine before we get miserable weather again. And I was doing lots of food and drinks, doing lots of food and drink orders and drinks making, pouring lots of pints, doing lots of wines and milkshakes and smoothies. And then our other colleague came in at 6, who's now fishing at close, and we were just running lots of food and drinks. I then did the restock, and at 7ish I then fished, and I clocked off, got my bag, and then headed off. And on my way back I just listened to some music on my headphones, and then I got back and got changed out of my work uniform, put my day uniform in the wash, and got my clean uniform out ready for work tomorrow. I'm doing a 10 till 3 because I get to have a little bit of a line tomorrow morning. And then I had my tea, and I had some pizza, had some cheese pizza, and it was really cheesy, just how I like it, and I'll show you guys that. The cheese pizza was huge, absolutely devoured it. I was so hungry. And then I was watching a little bit of QI. I love that show so much. I then finished watching my journal entry for today, put that away, and I'm now off to go and have a cup of tea and some more of my custard cream biscuits, and read some more of The Last Romeo and get into my PJs, and then probably just gonna rewatch some Heated Wifey. After reading that magazine early on, I was just falling in love with it all over again. Thought I couldn't love it any more than I already do, but I just love that show so much and those books. Heated Wifey has literally taken over my life, and I will see you with more vlog tomorrow. It's now Sunday, and I hope you guys are all having a lovely Sunday rest. I got up after a little bit of a lie-in, as I didn't have one until 10. I was doing 10 till 3. I then got a message by one of my colleagues to say that I didn't need to be in until 11. So I ended up doing 11 till 3, which meant I was able to have a little bit of chill time before work. I was just watching a little bit of TV, listened to a bit of music, and had some toast and a cup of tea for my breakfast. I then was playing with Bear out in the garden with his favourite rope toy, and it was a lovely sunny day of beautiful blue skies. I then got dropped to work by my dad. I then got into work, I got clocked in and put my bag away and got my drink out to have for work. I had some of that, and it was me and 2 other colleagues on shift. One of my colleagues was on bar, another one on coffee, and I was mainly on floor. And one of my mates who I used to work with was in for food, and I was chatting with him. I then was running lots of food and drinks, cleaning tables, and so on, chatting to some of the regulars, and I was cleaning tables inside as well as outside. Really quite a lot of people outside enjoying the sunshine, the last little bit of sunshine before the rain comes. And I was then doing some food and drink orders and drinks making, lots of wine and pint pouring. And then we had a musician come in from 12 till 2, and this musician who comes in on Sundays hadn't been in for a couple of Sundays, so I was having a nice chat with him. And then I finished at 2ish. as it had calmed down a little bit. I then clocked out and got my bag and got changed into this t-shirt I had in my bag. I'm now off for a few days, and then I headed off and went off to some of the charge shops and went off to another pubs and got a drink from there. And on the way out I popped to Lou and got a mirror stuff from there. Let me show you guys. I love the golden mirror, it's so beautiful. I then headed off to Co-op and got some cash out for the week ahead. I like to get cash out before the start of the next week to not be tapping on my card as much, and it helps me budget as well. I then got myself some chicken and stuffing sandwiches and some cravers and a drink for the walk back, and then whilst on my way back I got some flour snaps and I'll show you guys those. I had a lovely stroll, enjoying the last little bit of sunshine, getting some really pretty flower snaps with such lovely colours on, and also got some selfies in front of some of the pretty roses with the red and yellow and pink roses. They're just so beautiful, so many beautiful roses out and about at the moment. And then I got a snap of this beautiful coloured butterfly, and I'll show you guys 6 snaps I got of the butterfly. I was able to get some really great snaps of that butterfly with such beautiful colours and patterns on the wings. I then got back, and just as I was heading across the road to get down my road, my dad and Bear were off for his walk, and he was getting so excited when he saw me, bless him, and they went off on their walk. I then got in and I put my dirty work clothes in the wash and put my bag away, and then had my lunch. I had my chicken and stuffing sandwiches with my cravers and a cup of tea. No, I didn't have cravers, I had skips. I was going to get cravers, but I got skips instead. I love skips, they're so good. Fun cocktail is probably my favourite flavour crisps. And I had a cup of tea and some biscuits and watched a bit of Will and Grace. My dad and Bear got back, and then my mum got back from picking my grandma up to come over for tea. And then I watched a little bit of Addams Family Values. Loved that film so much. Debbie, what an icon. I then worked on some new illustrations, consolidating and watched some vlogs and TikToks of furry dog and cat videos and sea lion videos, and then played with Bear out in the garden. And then my older sister came over for tea, and for tea I had Spanish chicken, and I'll show you guys that. The Spanish chicken I had for my tea was so delicious. And then we were watching a little bit of Auntie's Roadshow and this David Attenborough wildlife show, and now we're off to go and play some games. Probably going to play a bit of Shut the Box. We love playing that one, and I hope you guys have all had a lovely week and weekend and all have a great new week ahead. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you with a new vlog coming very soon.